You're on mute, Joe.
Look, you can tell a year on.
You're on
I'm basics. You put all those videos in, you put all those images in, you get your guests in, you're there 20 minutes before, and then you forget to take yourself off mute.
You were fine for the warm-up, though, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Whenever you get to watch tonight's show, either if you're live, welcome. And if you're watching it on catch up, tell us you're watching on catch up and still put your questions in or your comments in or your thoughts in on what you'd like to share or what you'd like to see. This is Ke Nako Biltong's series called All Beef and No Bull. I'm Big Joe Shep, now known it would appear as the Biltong Babe's Bitch Boy, because the Biltong Babes beast me around the place and they treat the cattle, quite rightly, better than they treat me. But it is great to be back. It is a year, almost a year. April was our last show. We've been asked to come back and do a whole pile more stuff, and we are looking forward to the next few months, an exciting time. Joining me tonight is one half of the Biltong Babes. It is Alana Van Starden, and Ilse is on the road, and she is currently on her way to Cork to play rugby. And just so she doesn't feel left out when she gets to watch this was her in storming form playing last week. Here's the great Ilse Van Starden. Go, girl.
Puts on a turn of pace when she gets a bit of white line fever.
Prop life.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. So that was Ilse's little spot tonight, and we look forward to seeing her next month. Please welcome Alana Van Starden. Alana, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. Just flying solo tonight, which is a bit unusual. Haven't got Ilse here to sort of keep me in line, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Listen, great to be back on. And say it's April was our last show, and what's happened since then?
I can't believe that. That's the one where we were braaiing as well outside. Like, we had really good weather.
Absolutely. Yeah. And all of those things that we had planned to go the rest of the year went. But we are glad to be back, and so chuffed. Lovely new branding there with on the imagery and stuff. One of my favorite pictures of you in the field amongst your favorite beasties. You treat them, they're part of the family. But the awards are growing, as you can see on the bottom there. We'll cover those a little bit later. But been a fab year, 2021.
It has. We've been busy. Just coming out of lockdown, we had to obviously sort of, as lots of businesses did, sort of had to rejig what we did and sort of how we got our biltong across to our customers and how we attracted new customers, because a lot of our business relies on getting face to face with people, getting them to try the biltong, and then them hopefully evolving into becoming a customer that would buy online and come along to our other markets and things. So we obviously had to sort of have a bit of a regroup because all of our markets shut down with lockdown. And just now coming back out of the woodwork again, really getting back into the swing of working a 6-day week with being at markets on the weekends and balancing rugby and toddlers. And it's been great fun.
Well, let's start on that. Let's take it a little bit. Let's take it back, because we still get a lot of people ask us, don't we, about the background and how you started it, and do you have other jobs and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Ilse very briefly, on what you both do, and why you started Ke Nako Biltong.
So actually, interestingly, the week just gone there, Joe, last Saturday, it's actually been 10 years that Ilse and I have been married. So it was our anniversary. 10 years. I don't know how I haven't managed to shake her off by now. So basically Ilse and I met in South Africa back in 2011. And very whirlwind. We met in the June. She arrived back here in Northern Ireland with me. I came back to Northern Ireland in the August. She followed me then in the October. We got hitched the following February. Not recommended. Don't do things that quickly. So we've now been here we've been together and been back in Northern Ireland together for the last 10 years. Ilse's a butcher. That's her job. So it kind of ties in quite nicely with the biltong. She wasn't always a butcher. She's actually, again, originally, like myself, a teacher. I'm a teacher. So both of us work full-time jobs. We do the biltong as kind of a side hustle, although it's gradually starting to take over our lives as it's built, and we've gone sort of from success to success. You know, we started out sort of maybe spending 2 days a week on the biltong, and now it's sort of 4 or 5 days a week on the biltong. Yeah, we've got a little boy who's now 2.5, which also is just time flies when you're having fun. And then we both play rugby. I got back into the rugby now this year, having had a 3-year break, 1 year pregnant, 2 years out for COVID. We made the decision, or rather, I think my body in a way made the decision, that I would play for the 2s this year, and Ilse would play for the 1s. And it just means a better balance as well for us in terms of, you know, we're not both of us away. Like, we would have both been down to Cork tonight if we were both playing for the 1s, and what happens to Alex. So I play for the 2s because the 2s just play all their games within the province of Ulster. So yeah, so she has a match tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff against Ballincollig down in Cork. And then on Sunday, I'm playing North Down, which is a mixed team from sort of Newtonards, Bangor, and Donegal sort of direction. And we're playing them at Bangor at 2:30 on Sunday. And I was very graciously handed captaincy of the 2s this year, which has been a lot of responsibility as well. And I think the coach kind of did it in a way as well to keep me pitching up to training and not sort of finding excuses not to come. So and it worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
Congratulations.
So,
I didn't realise, actually. Congratulations, and well done. That's an amazing thing.
I did very well for my first 5 matches. My first 5 matches, we won them all. And I was like, 100% record. Haven't kept it, haven't maintained it, sadly. But yeah.
Good for you. Brilliant. Well, you certainly, the 4 of you, including young Alexander, you certainly saw cram an awful lot in. Welcome to everybody who's watching tonight across the different platforms and stuff. We've got our good friends who, you know, most of our stuff we do is spin off from rugby, from the 3-Rod Rugby group. I'm not sure which one of our teams doing that, but great to see you, Alana. So thanks very much for that. And I'm going to have to say publicly on behalf of the group, thanks for everything that you and Ilse do in supporting our Ulster Rugby Roundup show, White Walkers Chat and Crack. In fact, actually, White Walker 1, Dave Toppin, up there in Ulster is on. It's great to see you, Alana. Superb.
They must be dual screening. They must be dual screening because the Ulster match is on.
Yeah, we were speaking before. Because we were originally meant to do this last week, and then we put it so we do try and avoid the matches where we can and stuff. But there's so much going on. It's not always that easy. But if anybody's watching tonight, and if you're watching on catch up, then please put your thoughts, your comments in. If you want to know something about South Africa, something about Biltong or Droëwors or anything like that, that's great. We've got a couple of fab guests on. Another mixed South African and Northern Irish married couple team who will. This guy just shown off with his cooking and his he won the competition last year. In fact, actually, we'll tell you about the competition in a minute because in the end there was nobody to beat him because his was the first entry. It was so bloody good. People who are creative, it's just so annoying. I wish I had an inch of all of that. Anyway, there we go. So if you've got any questions on South African food, snacks, South Africa, Biltong, Droëwors, anything like that, or how it all works, then get them into us either live or on catch up. So 2021 was a very, very busy year. Tell us about the products. What is the product range? What are Droëwors? What is Biltong? Explain that to us.
So Biltong is where the name actually comes from. Is it's old Afrikaans, bil meaning bull, so cow, cattle, and tong, obviously tongue, so a strip. So it gets its name from what it looks like when it's in the whole pieces hanging in the drying box. And then when we go to markets and when we send it out as well from our orders and things, we slice it. Some people ask for it whole, and we can do that as well. But generally, most people would get it sliced because you need a good sharp knife and a bit of elbow grease to be able to slice up a nice, great big stick of biltong. So the concept of Biltong and Droëwors is originally a South African concept. It doesn't make a lot of sense in a hot country to refrigerate meat to preserve it. So instead, you dry it out. Because it's beautiful sunshine in South Africa the majority of the year, and you dry it out, and that preserves the meat that way. So it was actually a method of preservation. Now people tend to use it as a snack product. It's rare that people would have biltong hanging around for too long. We do get asked quite a lot, like how long does it last? And our official line is 2 weeks, and I always sort of say to people, if you can make it last 2 weeks, I think you're doing very well. But yeah, so that's what it is originally. So we do our biltong at the minute. We currently do it in 4 flavors. So we have our original biltong, so made with a traditional South African biltong spice recipe from Ilse's Oma. And then we have a garlic variation, a chili, and then we've also got our quite popularly named Pain in the Hole, which is a collaboration with Tim from Blackfire Sauces, who was on the last show.
Yeah.
So it's his sauce. He named it Pain in the Hole, not us. And yeah, so we then have that flavour as well. Droëwors then is just slightly different. It's the same beast. It's the same cow that we use for that. And it's just the only difference is the beef's been minced up rather than being in the strips, in the steak-like strips. And basically it's minced up. It's a little bit fattier, just to bind it together. Same flavors that we've got with the biltongs. We do the original, the garlic and the chili, and then we also do a beer one with the Droëwors as a collaboration with Farmageddon Brewery down in Newtonards. The beer just wouldn't really work as a flavor on a biltong because you kind of need it like to stick to the outside. Beer, obviously being a liquid, tends not to do that, so hence why we put it into the sausage. And we've actually just loaded the biltong box up tonight with a fresh batch, and we're trying the Pain in the Hole as a Droëwors as well, just to sort of see how that goes. And then, yeah, we've got the powder as well, which I know features in Heinz's advert later. And I know, Joe, you did some stuff with the powder as well. So that's the biltong when you get sort of, when you're slicing it, you get bits that are a bit tough and sort of no good to kind of be just snacking on. There you go. So we get that. We have a great big industrial blender, for want of a better term, and that blitzes it all up then into the powder. And it's just very versatile. You can use it on just about anything, really. Really, really great product. And then we're starting as well, and I kind of don't want to get into it too much, but plans for 2022 and sort of going further into the year here. We want to start supplying our steaks further afield as well. So when we turn the beast, because we get the whole cow in, when we turn it into biltong, we're not obviously using sort of the prime cuts like the fillet, the strip loin, which turns into sirloin, and the ribeyes. We turn those into steaks, and at the minute we sell those through our stockists in Northern Ireland, but we are hoping to sort of branch out and be able to post steaks to people and stuff. Really, we have run a trial with it and it worked. The steaks got there the next day with a customer, so so fingers crossed we can turn that into a regular thing where we can then do it and we can supply steaks to people in the UK and Ireland. At the minute, I think Europe, the further Europe would maybe be a bit of a stretch at the time being, but it would definitely be something for in the future if it's successful that we'd look to do.
Excellent. Like I say, for tonight, everybody who's watching, it is a bit of a recap and a bit of a rush through, really, of what Ke Nako Biltong was about, the Biltong Babes, and why they do what they do, and some of the products. We'll be looking at some recipes and stuff. We're just going to bring our guests in just a second, and we're looking at sort of the markets. And then as we develop a pack again, there'll be sort of more in-depth looks at everything we're doing. And there are some exciting things happening in 2022, I know, which we will cover later on. Again, some Jill Jopling. Somebody called Jill Jopling, not too far from here. All are lush, yeah. I've had to change my order this week, actually, and we've had to go for a couple more chili and some powders because GP's favorite is the chili. It's great, and I've gone for some powders because I ended up having to use my coffee blitzer to blitz down the biltong because I actually have the powder on a whole range of different foods. So, for example, this was one that Ilse put together.
Yeah.
Just look,
that's Zach's Bakehouse, who supply us with the sourdough bread there at Lagoon, where our base is. So we were kind of doing a bit of a showcase of them and a showcase for us for the biltong powder as well.
Absolutely superb. And then look at that. That's Ilse's breakfast of champions. She says, I can go for all of that apart from that green stuff.
You're not a fan of avocados, Joe?
No, Jill loves it, but I'm no, not for me. I'm afraid I don't get the whole thing, and I know it's really good for you and everything like that, but no. But then I wouldn't be eating sprouts. There's something about certain greens that they're just not meant to be designed. So that's one of my favorites. My own creamy eggs with wild garlic and a Greek salad that Jill makes on the side as well. And
I thought there was avocado on that plate. It's cucumber. You're good.
yeah, but I don't eat that neither. I picked that off. So there we go. So there's some things that you can do with it. Just before I bring our guests in, try on pizza. Hey, mate, that's a bloody serious. That's a really, really fab idea. I make my homemade pizzas. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. I'm just going to nick that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a creative genius.
Well. Absolutely.
Just going back up one. Shani, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Knows my cultural Afrikaans is absolutely rubbish, but forgive me if that's wrong, Shane or Shani. Where are you guys tomorrow? Very quickly, do you want to tell her that?
Yes, so we're at Inns Market tomorrow. So we have 3 markets that we regularly do. And it's not sort of on set dates. The first Saturday of the month, we're always at Inns Cross Market, which is in Belfast, just off the St. Field Road. It's a short market. It's 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. So you need to get in there quick. We then are the second weekend the second Saturday, in the month, we're at Elmfield Market. Now, this is one that's down in County Down. So down towards Craigavon direction. It's an estate, actually, the Elmfield estate. Beautiful place. They sort of do all wellness retreats and things like this. Absolutely gorgeous. You can come walk around the park and things. It's beautiful. So that one is a 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock market down there in Guildford. And then the last weekend of the month is always at the Junction in Antrim. And it's a really handy location because it's just right off the M2, so it's really accessible for people to come up to that one. And that one is 11 till 4.
Cool. And next week we'll be putting a post out with all of those markets, excuse me, and the dates and times that were there and where the locations are. So we'll stick a post out next week and share that.
And some of the specialised markets that then were, the bigger events that we'll be doing this year as well, because we're already booked in for quite a few big events this year. Got to get in early and potentially adding a couple more to that list as well.
Superb. And there's lots and lots happening in the Republic of Ireland. We'll cover that in 2022. Let us bring in 2 lovely people who, again, as I said, like yourself and Ilse, they are Heinz and Finula. Welcome to the show. And please tell us very briefly who you are and where you're from, lads.
No, ladies first.
Okay. My name's Finula, and I'm from Belfast originally, but I've been living over in Yorkshire now for the last 20 years. And I met Heinz about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when we were working together for a company. And we've been married now for 5 years. So we're only a couple of years. No, sorry, 7 years. 7 years. A couple of years behind you, Alana. A couple of years behind, because we got married in 2015. So I had 5 in my head. So we're a couple of years behind. You say we're creative geniuses. We are both very creative people, but in very different ways. And I'll let Heinz introduce himself.
Yeah, I am the other half, not the better half. And originally from Johannesburg area in South Africa, although I've traveled quite a bit. And been living in the UK since 2004. So I feel a bit like Yorkshire furniture at the moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you're both welcome. You're both very, very welcome to the show, lads. And the reason you're on the show is because last year, myself, Ilse, and Alana said we'd run a competition for some of those aforementioned ideas for recipes. And obviously, normally what you do is you run a competition for your recipes, and you get a whole stack in, like mine, a bit of a breakfast type thing, and then you'll get them sort of leveled, and you can only get enough in that you can then put them up. Not saying any are bad, but some are better than others. It is fair to say in any competition, lads. So you can then level them and grade them and bring them in slowly, building up to a crescendo at the top of the shop with the number one. However, these creative geniuses came straight in, and the first entry we had that went out was this.
This, my friend, is not just any stone. This is a mature British cheddar stone, made by hand, topped with Ke Nako's finest graded Biltong.
And so surprised that we didn't get any other entries, Joe, really.
Well, exactly. And so that was absolutely brilliant. So it was like one of those times where you've ever heard the expression where something doesn't, when you're sitting in the group and something doesn't come off and somebody says, I'll get me jacket. I felt like doing that with my measly sort of, I think I'm going to take mine down because it just doesn't seem fit.
I can't take any credit for that, though, because that was all Heinz. So I had nothing to do with that.
So Heinz won, and
Yeah.
but unfortunately, because we stopped the shows in April, and we didn't sort of continue on, he never got his prize.
Yeah.
And so I apologise that I've caused you to be a year late in getting your prize.
That's fine.
Alana, we're going to get some stuff out to them soon, aren't we?
Yeah, so Ilse and I had already decided this way back whenever we first did this. So we want to offer you guys one of our subscriptions. So we'd like to offer you one of our subscriptions for the 3 months that it runs. So you guys can hop online, pick which one you want, let us know which one you want, and we'll get it set up and sent out to you.
Oh,
so you
thank
get
you
3
very
months worth of Biltong.
Superb. So tell us what obviously you're a Safa, Heinz, but Biltong, why is it you like Biltong? Why do you specifically like Ke Nako Biltong? Why is it so good for you?
Okay, so why do I like Biltong? Well, it's part of my upbringing. My dad and I used to go hunting way back when, and we'd always eat what we shoot, and it was normally venison, kudu or something. And every part of the animal was used, and a large part of the animal was used to make biltong. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is it is so widely used in South Africa. Like, for instance, the scone recipe that I submitted to this competition, that's something that you would normally see at parties, birthday parties,
all
or
family gatherings.
Family gatherings, yeah. They would always have, well, in my family at least, they would always have the cheese scones with a little bit of powdered biltong on top. And
do you argue about whether you put the cheese first and then the biltong, or the biltong and then the cheese?
No,
it's not like a cream and
you just
jam
stuff it in the hole. So when I came to the UK, I tried to find the same thing. I tried to make it, but it's not that easy. You need the warm weather, and I tried to find the same thing. But the only thing you can find in the shops here is essentially beef jerky, which is not the same thing. And the biltong that you do find, because there's a few shops in the UK that sell it, it just doesn't have that authentic spice mix. And it's only when I found when you found
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how I actually first made this. I do remember that it was one of the ladies that used to run a fantastic restaurant in Portaferry called the Narrows, and it was through Facebook that she said, "Oh, have you tried Ke Nako there in Ballylagan?" And I hadn't heard of the company at all, and it was around the same time when they were on Top of the Shop, but I hadn't watched that program, so I was completely unaware of the fame that they had suddenly risen to. And we were over for the July exodus to Donegal that we do every year, and we made a stopover, I think on the way to Donegal at Ballylagan, just to see whether we could get in and whether we could find any biltongs. We'd heard that it was really good, and it was an off day. I think it was a Sunday. And I remember getting out of the car and going around the corner from the little cafe that you have there, and Ilse coming towards me. And I tried to be really clever, and I tried to, show off with my very limited Afrikaans that I have. And I just said, "Goeiemorgen," and she just came at me, "We have no more. We have no more. We're sold out. We're sold out. We're sold out." and I was sort of taken aback, going, "What? Huh?" And it was after that I learned that you had risen to fame through the program.
Mad time, yeah.
It was around that time, and she said, come back later. We'll have some later. Well, you did have some later. It was several months later that you managed to get back to normal.
And we went back to the shop.
We went back on the way back. Yeah,
I spent my entire salary.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And so every time now that we go over to Ireland, it usually is for our July exodus to Donegal. We always make sure that we stop off at Ballylagan Farm, so that he can stock up on all the biltong that will last him throughout the whole holiday in Donegal. And it doesn't last 2 weeks, I can tell you that.
Nope.
And for birthdays and Christmases, I've had to be very clever, and I do store it in the freezer during that time, and it stores very well in the freezer, but I have to wrap it in something that he doesn't know that it's biltong.
Yeah, but you can actually take it out of the freezer and just eat it, because
Just
there's no water in it.
But I have to make sure I package it so he doesn't know what it is. Otherwise, he'll find it before Christmas and then it'll be gone.
Oh yeah.
It's like hiding sweets from a child, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It's good. But interesting, you were talking about top of the shop when they first came to fame. The great Tom Kerridge, there with us at Alana, and from the TV show, and that's really sort of how it started. So it's it continues to go from success to success, and as we can see, all the awards run along the bottom, plus the other awards that they've had as well. Here. So nice little package there. 3 months of Biltong sort of coming your way, which is absolutely superb.
Thank you.
But if there's one product or one thing that you would want the girls to do at potentially at some point in the future, what would it be? Is there something they could create?
The thin Droëwors.
Yeah, Droëwors.
Okay.
Not the thick one,
Droëwors.
because that one was always a favorite at Christmas Braai.
I was going to say to Braai or to dry out, or to Braai.
To Braai, yeah. Because you said you were going to ship the steak, which is like fabulous in its own right. But the thin Droëwors. The thin Droëwors.
But to be honest, he's not fussy. If he gets any meat for free, he's a very happy man.
I have to say I'm a huge convert to the South African food snacks and stuff. But Droëwors, I currently get through another rugby link.
Yeah.
But the thick ones, and the chakalaka being my favourite. There's something about the chakalaka ones. Just I could sit and eat platefuls of it, which isn't really that healthy for you. But Jesus, bloody good. I think one of the things I love about what both Hellbent and what Louis and Scott and what you do with yours as well is because it's so natural and pure, and it's just on a sort of heart related sort of diet now. I'm trying to sort of be good, but there's some things in life which just when you look at what you do, the whole aspect and the ethics of how you look after your beasts, and the reverence and the respect that you show, I think that's an absolutely fab thing to do. But you've just sold, Jesus, Heinz, get off. That's two things. That's two things. I'm gonna tomorrow now. I'm gonna go out and have to get some stuff to make homemade pizzas, and of course, but I can't do that because I'm waiting for this month's order of my own.
I think actually, Joe.
So, but mate, great idea. Yeah, great idea. And the thin Droëwors would be absolutely fab as well. So so it's good. Listen, lads, thanks very much for taking part and for support and everything that you do. And we'll you keep coming up with more recipes, but next time send them to us privately first, and we can just give other people a chance to go back on the
recipe book.
Well, actually, there's a whole pile of things potentially for the future, but that's one of those things is 101 things to do with Biltong, 102 if you just eat it as it is, because it's just so versatile. And it was, in fact, I saw Lynn Kyle had put up this. They seriously want to try that for breakfast. Absolutely. Jill is dog groomer. She works 3 days a week, so I put half a pack and put it into foil, and she takes it. And while she's working right the way through the day, she's chomping away on that. So she's a convert as well. And I think it is just. I think that's the word. It's versatile, and it's.
Maybe you should run a competition and ask people to send in photographs of the most unusual places where they eat it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Might get the dodgy photographs, I'm sure, but
we're straying from sort of Facebook into TikTok, Instagram type things here, aren't we? Like, and no, I think that's a fab idea as well. So I love it.
I was snacking on. So I was running a little bit late Thursday and Friday in my early mornings in work. I was running a little bit late yesterday morning, and I took a pack. I hadn't had a chance to make breakfast, so I just grabbed a pack of Biltong that we had on the side, and then to my horror in the traffic discovered that it was a pack of the Pain in the Hole. So I had Pain in the Hole Biltong. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite flavors of our Biltong, but breakfast it is not.
just quite interesting actually, because obviously Jill's dog groomer, we foster for dog charity as well. So we're big doggies here. As you said, doggy on spice ones with any offcuts. Ooh.
Well, we do a pet mince as well, actually, with any of the bits and pieces that we then that we could sort of so if you've got particularly sinewy bits and things like that wouldn't be very good for in the Droëwors, because even though yes we are using the whole beast, we do have bits still that then are, as I say, very sinewy things that would just not. If sinews, when you dry them out, that's breaking your teeth type stuff. So we do like pet mints and stuff with that, like as well, that we then just sell through Lagoon. So it does all get used.
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk about that actually, because obviously our dogs are raw fed. So we treat the dogs like we would treat ourselves.
We've liver treats as well. We've got the liver. We dry that out as well.
I see. Look. We're gonna have to explore this more.
We got
into our doggy network. It just doesn't sound right, does it, at all? But you know what I mean.
Doggy is fine. The slightly other variation of doggy is maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we're getting back now to Finula's idea of the worst places that you've, the strangest places that you've ever had eaten your biltong and your drivers. Anyway, on that, I think we better move swiftly forward. Heinz and Finula, thank you so much for coming on, and we wish you all the very best in the rest of the time in Yorkshire, your home now, you and the family. And we look forward to getting you on back again soon, and keep spreading that word. And thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Heinz and Finula there, lads. It's absolutely superb. And if it's worth waiting a year for, it's worth waiting for. It's as simple as that.
Definitely.
So brilliant. And what are some fab ideas? So we've now got some. When my powder arrives down, we'll be making homemade pizzas with that as well. And I'll stick. In fact, Heinz is still listening to me now. Heinz and Finula still listen to me. If throw some on your pizza, mate, and get some photos in, and we'll throw those up there as well. And actually, when we showed the cheese scone video that Heinz put together, if you do want the recipe for Heinz cheese scone, then let us know, and we can send that out to you, courtesy of Heinz. There we go, excellent stuff. And look, Jill's next door watching the show and going, "Oh my God, she didn't realise. Neither did I. I'll get in trouble now. Why didn't I tell her?"
Oh, I know. It's one of those things, Joe. Just Ilse is a brilliant ideas person. It's something she really excels at. She'll have something like, I mean, the offal from our cattle actually always goes very quickly. It's actually one of the first things that goes whenever, and we sometimes have a waiting list for it as well, because we would have a lot of people that arrive up at Alanagh that are into sort of, looking to eat meat purely on a basis of a vitamin mineral content, because they're maybe not necessarily vegan, but they're maybe sort of, as you say, kind of conscious about their consumption. And if you're eating meat for a nutritional point of view, then yes, the muscle is not the best bit to eat. The best bits to eat, if you are only eating meat for nutritional, is to eat offal. So it does tend to go quite quickly. But it was a while back now, again, through a chat with Hellbent, and they sort of said to us, have you thought about doing that? And we were like, to be fair, we hadn't. And so Ilse, as she does quite a few things in our butchery, are sort of Ilse's hobby projects, bought herself a little dehydrator rather than the Biltong box. Like, we went for a dehydrator. And she's done liver, she's done heart, she's done a couple of things in it now. And with the idea being then aiming for sort of the dog market. I mean, we've 3 dogs as well, so and they're more than happy to be guinea pigs for this sort of stuff. So yeah, so maybe
I'm going to get on the phone to you over the weekend and say, well, and then Ilse's back up and say, okay, well, what have you got? And then we'll get some of that sent down, and we'll try that.
Sure.
As well, and then we'll put that into Miniature Schnauzer Rescue Island. It's the charity, obviously, because all bod and all of our little dogs are miniature schnauzers. We'll have a look at them. And Jill obviously is going to become a groomer in her own right, with her own business at some point later this year. So it may be something that we look to stock down here as well. Excellent. Well, I tell you what, we better move forward. That was an exciting chat there with Heinz and Finula.
Went off on a complete tangent, yeah.
Oh, well, it's great.
It wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Listen, we put this very fancy bit of branding together for you for the overlay, and we got some awards. So tell us about what happened in 2021 on More Awards.
So we entered in this year for quite a lot of awards. We actually entered in for more than we have in any previous year. So we went and entered in again to the Blasnaren. So the very first year that we entered the Blasnaren, we got very, very lucky, and we actually won the gold for our original biltong. So we'd only ever entered previously our original flavored biltong in just funds, time wise, all that kind of thing. You know, there's a cost to entering these sorts of competitions and things. So we just sort of thought, look, we'll go purist and we'll just use our original. So we entered in this year some of our flavored biltongs into various different contests to sort of see how they'd get on, and absolutely delighted that our pain in the hole biltong and the chili biltong came back from the Blas with the silver and the bronze, which is great. The Blas is, for anybody that doesn't know, it's the Irish Food Awards. And it's actually, again, I think people would sort of think, oh, Ireland's a small place, it can't be that competitive, but the people come from the mainland to get the Blas as well, and it's in the food industry, it's a huge recognition to land a Blas. It's some would say it's actually trickier to get a Blas than it is to get a Great Taste Award, and sure, we've got a couple of those as well. So the first year we entered the Blas, you know, we didn't actually expect to come anywhere. We just sort of thought, oh, you know, if we can even get a bit of feedback, you know, that's great. So when we won it, you know, it was just unbelievable, and getting the silver and the bronze this year has been great. Looking forward to it going back to face because it actually takes place in Dingle. Right down off the west coast of Ireland, and it's, I mean, fun place to get to. Lots of twisty, windy country roads, but they actually have a food festival, and it's over a couple of days that they run the food festival in Dingle. And you know, I mean, they have this wee token system. So you buy these tokens, and then you can go into all the different restaurants and pubs and stuff in Dingle and use the tokens to get different foods. I mean, the weekend we did it, you know, I think we bought like 20 tokens. So in a day, you're trying like 20 different foods and things, and it's just such a great crack, great atmosphere. And the whole thing then is all the awards and everything, it's all presented in an old cinema, so it's brilliant. Like you're sitting in the little pews all waiting to hear how well they've done and things. So looking forward to getting back down to Dingle. Hopefully it's October that those are usually drawn, so it'd be great to get back down this year and see how we get on with that one. So that was the Blas. We entered into the Great Taste Awards again, and we got a star for our chili biltong with a Great Taste this year. I think we just got that one. We'd only entered though the chili and the garlic in this year. I'm kind of surprised the garlic didn't land anything, because it would be my favorite flavor. I have to say, the garlic out of all of them, I do love the garlic one the most. But we had another kind of shock surprise. The pain in the hole is obviously a relatively new flavor for us. So we entered it into the British Charcuterie Live, and we'd never entered anything into the British Charcuterie Live before, and we decided to enter the pain. I think it ended up being, we kind of got to the end of entering things for all the other awards, and we're like, oh, we haven't entered the pain into anything. So we entered into the British Charcuterie Live, and having never entered anything into it before, it won the gold, and it won the top of its class as well, just like that. And absolutely mind-blowing, just couldn't believe it. That it just did so well, just straight off the bat. Again, you know, when you sort of bring a new product or a new flavor out, you just are kind of looking for feedback. You nearly enter these awards and stuff just to kind of get the feedback from the industry experts. So to get that was just, and I mean, with the way the British Charcuterie Live works, it's slightly different to some of the other awards. They sort of get you to send everything to one central location, and then they send it out to all these experts. So we kind of knew that things were going all right, because a couple of them are sort of, you know, on TikTok and on Instagram, and we were getting tagged in it and things. We were like, okay, all right. So there's different, you know, some quite amazing names trying out our biltong. And yeah, it was amazing. And then to get that through in the end was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's absolutely superb. Excuse me, that's one of the things when we put the branding together, really great to have those, just a small selection of those awards there. And again, this man is one of my favorite men in the world, the big Tom Courage. So I always love throwing that one up there, because I think that's just, that was your first award, wasn't it? The top of the shop.
Yes, so we'd never really, that was it, sort of that, as really as Finula sort of hinted there, you know, the fact that we had such a long, we had a 9-week waiting list for the biltong at one point. Like it was insanity, and that's what really launched us. You know, we were expanding to a degree before that, but the show just absolutely, you know, strapped a jetpack on it, and away we went, rocket fuel. So yes, that was then sort of the first proper award that we won, was the top of the shop. And then we had entered in that year, but that was the first time we'd entered the Great Taste and the Blast as well. So it all came at once. We got top of the shop, we got gold stars in what we got was star awards in the Great Taste, and then we got the gold at the Blast, and it was just absolutely phenomenal.
Good for you. Well, we'll cover every time you get something on, you do something in future, so we can cover them as we go through shows. And we'll also be looking at a number of the local businesses that you partner with, being these being one of them. And Tim
at Blackfire Sauces for our pain in the hole, and Farmageddon, who I've mentioned already. One I haven't mentioned yet actually was Burren Balsamics. So they provide our vinegars for our garlic and our chili varieties. I am a massive vinegar fiend as it is. I mean, I was the weird child that would sit and eat pickles out the jar. So I'm a big vinegar fan. It does make you a bit of a vinegar snob as well, I think, to a degree. So I've got in the cupboard there, my shelf of vinegars and oils, like 3/4 of it's Burren Balsamic stuff. It's just, their stuff's phenomenal.
When you find quality though, you just take
absolutely
it.
And it's their garlic, it's their black garlic balsamic that we use in the garlic biltong. And Heinz has said there as well, the garlic biltongs, always said about trying garlic biltong bread. There's an idea. But it's this sweetness to it as well that with the garlic. I mean, like, I would be an ordinary garlic fan as it is anyway, but it's just something else. Yeah,
same, absolutely. Well, each of the shows as we move forward each month from now on, we'll be having different partners coming on. And obviously, we've had some of those on the previous shows. In fact, I was talking to Susan a couple of weeks ago there, and looking forward to being able to help promote them as well, which is one of the great things that you also do, is that we try and promote local businesses who you joint venture with everything, and that's a very ethical thing to be doing as well, to support.
Well, if we want to succeed, we need to take those that are helping us succeed along with us. It's as simple as that. If we didn't have them, without Burren Balsamics, our chili and our garlic would taste very different. Pain in the Hole wouldn't exist without Tim, and the same for our beer variety as well. Anybody can stick any beer into a Droëwors mix, but we're very lucky that Farmageddon have chosen us to use their beer for our ones. And again, all three of those companies are all ones with great ethoses. I mean, I always have to chuckle slightly with poor old Tim, because Tim, one of the things that he sort of promotes himself with the Blackfire sauce is the fact that he's vegan, and then here we are sticking it on a beef product. So I know for him, when we won some of the awards, he was a bit conflicted about sharing the news, because he has quite a large vegan following, and but again, as you said, I was a vegetarian for 16 years, and we treat our animals very differently to how sort of the run of the mill animals.
And Tim covered that when we had him on the show, didn't he? The fact that what impressed them, as because he has all those vegan followers, is actually how ethically everything is done with the beast, and the reverence and the respect that it is shown to it. And I think that is where, if we could all get to the stage where we respect others' views, but the way we go about what we do, the way that you and Ilse and then do, would be absolutely phenomenal. Right, so we've got a couple more comments coming in there. Thanks again. Mate,
garlic Biltong bread.
You're gonna have to have a regular spot now. That's the problem.
Heinz's recipe slot. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there we go. You're in, mate.
Recipes for Heinz. Yeah.
Recipes for Heinz. Yeah. And we're not talking about the sauce. Catherine Beecher, good evening to you. Hope that you are well. Thanks for joining us on the show. Charlie Devlin. Charlie, welcome to tonight's show. Hoping to get some of Ke Nako Biltong one day. Great. Well, what we will be doing next week is we'll be doing, I'll post that as well, on how easy it is to do it. But while we're there, just tell Charlie how we can order it.
Yeah, so I mean, first up, you can come and visit us at Lagoon Organic Farm. So we're in County Antrim, just outside Ballyclare. So you can come directly to the source. Failing that, meet us at one of our markets that I mentioned earlier. And as I say, we'll have a post up in the next little while detailing not only sort of our regular markets, but some of the other ones that we're going to be attending this year, the likes of Balmoral. We're hoping as well, fingers crossed, to get into the Royal Highland Show over in Scotland with any luck. And then through our Stockists. So we have 3 Stockists here in Northern Ireland, one actually not too far from Finula and Heinz over in Yorkshire. So we've 2 sisters, Indie Food and Grattan's Greengrocers. And then, yes, failing that, as the ticker tape says at the bottom of the screen here, you can get us online. So Ke Nako Biltong.co.uk, and we deliver all over the UK and Ireland. Brexit borders aren't going to get us down. And just order online. Tell us exactly what you want. We can we make, one of the beauties of us being a small company is we can make to order. So if you want it fatty, if you want it lean, if you want the bit sent whole or sliced, you want it thick cut, thin cut, lean, wet, dry, we'll make it whatever way you want it.
Awesome. And we talked that's the ideal time to move on. So there we go. Go to kenakobiltong.co.uk or go to the app and order. That's how I started, ordering directly through from the app there. That brings us nicely on to expansion into 2022. What's happening this year? What are you doing? Because see this here. This here is a beast.
Oh, this is our
beast.
It's
a beast of a car. But added to it now is going to be coming. No, in fact, actually, we're going to go to name the truck, name the trailer. That at the moment is currently as is. Yes, it has no wheels. No, it wasn't stolen when we visited certain places in the UK and Ireland because it would have been on a brick otherwise. But what it eventually become, it will be eventually painted and branded like the beast. So what's Alana said it should be called Tilly the Trailer because it's a girl and girls always get things done. Me personally, I think it should be called Tim the Travelling Truck because a bloke always gets to make sure you get there and always gets things sorted. And so that you can then, beautiful ladies, look good front and centre, but without Tim the Travelling Truck. So what we want to do though, next month, follow us for next month because next month we are going to have a competition. Name the truck. And no, you can't call it Trucky Mac Truck. It's got to be something a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. Something a little bit more inventive than that. And Heinz, you're not allowed to enter me. You're going to win enough competitions to have your own slot. So he's down in the bottom. He's down in the studio in the green room. Help yourself, by the way, Heinz and Finula, to the everything that we provided for you. Drinks and nibbles. Oh, you didn't bring any. Oh well, not to worry. There we go. But seriously, next month we'll be having we'll be turning that branded into that, but we do need a name for, so we'll be running competition. So join us next month for that. Right, Alana, tell us what's happening very briefly in 2022. Republic of Ireland, lots of events.
Yeah, so basically, Tilly the truck has been purchased to enable us to get out further. At the minute, as you can see with the beast, we are, when we go to markets and things, it's the beast that comes with us. We've actually got a brand new branded up gazebo as well, which will be featuring at Elmfield next weekend as well, that we sort of go out of. But at the minute, like today, I was on my way back from work and I had to swing by the farm on the way to get everything loaded up into the back of the truck and ready for the market that we're heading to tomorrow morning. So the trailer was bought with the idea then that everything's already in it and it's a case of hitch it to the back and away we go. So it's going to allow us a greater freedom for getting to more markets, not just in Ireland. We're hoping to take her across to the UK as well, and sort of getting out there. And we are going to have sort of regular slots. We're hoping to maybe get a regular pitch somewhere down in Dublin potentially, get a regular slot, a regular pitch in Belfast. We've actually had a couple of offers from some of our stockists to just simply pitch outside their premises to sell as well during the week, and just basically get her to as many places as we possibly can and get more people trying biltong, because part of the hurdle with biltong is people aren't maybe necessarily aware of what it is, haven't tried it. And so, it's all very good and well us sort of saying, go online and order it. But it is a big ask of people, and particularly sort of the financial times we are in at the minute, to maybe take a punt on a product that they're maybe not 100% sure they'll actually like. So by getting people out, getting it out to markets, people could try it, experience it for themselves. And then we know that they'll become fans and they'll be able to order online and have it conveniently delivered to their door.
Absolutely. What's the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to this year? Because we're coming out of COVID now, haven't we? And it's been a difficult time for everybody, and it's a great time to to be supporting local. Local then global where possible, as we always say. So what is the most exciting thing for you this year when it comes to Ke Nako?
Some of the markets that we're doing, I'm particularly looking forward to at the end of July. We are going to, there's a couple of SA gatherings that are happening down in the Republic this year. We're going to the SA gathering in May is one of them, which we did a couple of years ago. It was the first time we'd ever been. And we weren't quite sure what to expect, and we were really daft, and we took sort of a limited stock of biltong with us, kind of thinking we'll probably come back up the road with a bit of it still at the end of the day, you know, not sure how popular it would be. And we arrived at 10 and we were sold out by 12 o'clock. It was frantic. It was crazy. So we're looking forward to getting back to there, and we'll be better stocked and better supplied this time with Tilly the trailer. And at the end then of July, we are doing another South African gathering organised by a different group of Saffers down south. And quite excitingly, they've actually got a South African musician there, a chap called Apple, who, if you look up on Google, he's sings in English and in Afrikaans. And he's a real favourite of Ilse's, and actually Alex is quite a big fan of his now as well, because Ilse plays his music quite frequently. And I know she in particular is really looking forward to that one. So I can see me being abandoned in the trailer to sell biltong while she and Alex go and join the crowd. But we're looking forward to those two. And then just, getting back to our regular ones. We did do Balmoral this year, the biggest agricultural show on the island of Ireland. That takes place just outside of Lisbon in Northern Ireland here every year. So it was great to get back to that this year, obviously having not done that last year. It was still a bit subdued this year. They, because of COVID restrictions, could only have so many stalls and things in there. So I'd say there's probably a fifth of what's usually on offer at Balmoral this year. Still great, still a great event, but looking forward to it getting back to its full strength again, because it really is some show to get to go to. That's the July Braai that you're sharing there that we're going to be at. So and you know, I think that's probably the bit that I enjoy the most with the biltong, is actually getting to events, meeting people face to face, talking about biltong, and as Heinz sort of said there, you know, biltongs are, for South Africans in particular, it's a cultural thing, and it's lovely to be able to find a new South African, you know, who's not tried our biltong, and they try it and they say, oh, you know, that tastes just exactly how I remember it from as a child. And that, you know, we get some wonderful feedback from people, you know, very, very, very kind, very generous people with their feedback. But it's you know, and it's always nice to hear from people who aren't South African as well, don't get me wrong, but it's when you get a Safa that says, I haven't tasted anything like that since, you know, 30 years ago when I was at home, that those are the ones that really are special.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it's time to wrap. I don't know where almost it's 53 minutes. I don't know where the time's gone and flown through. So if you haven't tried Ke Nako Biltong, then what you need to do is you need to go there in the first instance, or you can download the app and you can have a look. And then what you can do is you can have a little bit of that, and it comes packaged like that. And it's just all hashtag nom. And the girls will be at a range of markets across Ireland. And next week we will put a post up with the different markets and the different dates that they do, and that they're going to be there and everything like that. So that's this month's thing, to again bring you back into the fold post-COVID of where we're at, where the girls are at, what they're up to, what's breaking, you know, in a positive way, where the expansion's going. I did notice you very surreptitiously, or rather directly in a womany type of way, kept mentioning Tilly the trailer to usurp any chance of Tim the travelling truck winning. But anyway, we'll see what the masses come up with next month when we run the competition. Ladies and gents, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you to Heinz and Finula Donnelly Schmidt for joining us and sharing with us the excellent winning recipe from last year. Alana, please pass our best on to young Alexander, and to Ilse, we wish her well tomorrow, and we look forward to more stuff coming next month. Leave us with one thing that you're focused on this month in your life.
Oh, in life in general, or in the Biltong?
Yeah. Well, Biltong, I think, because otherwise we're going to be steaming back into areas of where we're eating Biltong.
Off on a tangent. Yeah. No, exactly. I think I'm just on the markets, just looking forward to focusing on that, building up the trailer, and just getting stuff out to more people and getting more people hooked on our amazing product.
Cool, absolutely. Alana Van Starden, great as ever to chat away with you, and to Heinz and to Finula. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. I've been Big Joe Shep, the Biltong Babe's bitch boy, and I will be back next month. And until then, I think it's only right that we leave you with the outstanding winning entry from Heinz from last year. We'll see you all soon. Thanks, Alana.
Yeah, bye.
This, my friend, is not just any stone. This is a mature British cherry stone, made by hand, topped with Ke Nako's finest graded Biltong.